So we're going to create a mini pillow today. You're going to need some thin string and you're going to want it to be about the length of your arm. And using your scissors, create a little loop and give it a little snip. And don't forget to be kind and rewind before you return your string. Once you have your string, grab yourself a needle and we're ready to go make our pillow. Let's go. To start, you're going to need your thread, a needle, and your needle threader. So to start, you're going to want to thread your needle using the needle threader, which is this little piece of paper like this. I'm going to fold the paper in half, and it should look like a little mouth of a birdie. Cheep, 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 cheep. And then you're going to take the end of your string, which I like to call the worm, and the bird is going to eat the worm, like so. Alright, you're then going to use this piece of paper, or the birdie, in order to thread your needle. So at the top of your needle, you're going to see an opening, and this is called the eye of your needle. Taking your piece of paper, you're going to slip it through the eye, and you're going to thread your needle, pulling the paper all the way through, and the string should go all the way through. On the opposite side, you're going to want to create your knot. I'm going to go to the opposite side of my string. So to tie a knot, you're going to want to first create a U shape with your string, and then a circle, and then you want to put the tip of your yarn into the hole. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to grab the tip with my left hand like so, and with my right hand I'm going to pull the string in order to create that knot. I'm going to repeat the process so that I have a double knot on top of that one. So to start, we're going to start with that U shape, create a circle. The tip is going to go into the hole. Your left hand's going to hold on to the tip, and then as your left hand stays still, it's not moving anywhere, I'm going to use my right hand to pull my string. Using my other hand, I'm going to pull my string so that the knot is right on top of itself like so. Alright, and now I am ready to stitch. Before you stitch, you're going to want to pin your pieces of fabric together so that the fabric doesn't move around as you're stitching. They are sharp, so be careful not to poke yourself, and make sure that when you pin, it goes through both sides of the fabric. Okay, so now I'm ready to create my stitch. I'm trying to connect these two pieces of fabric together. So I'm going to take my threaded needle and I'm going to want to hold it on the side where the eye is, and I'm going to place it on the back side of my fabric, and I'm going to press through both pieces kind of towards the edge slightly, so it's not right in the middle, it's kind of more towards the edge of my fabric. I'm going to poke it through both layers of fabric, and I'm going to press and then pull, and again you want to hold on to the eye of the needle so that it does not become unthreaded. I'm going to pull it all the way through until you reach the knot at the end of your string, which is going to anchor it to that space. Alright, I'm then going to go around, and I'm going to keep going through the same side that I started on. I'm going to go right next door. I'm going to poke it through again and go back up through. I'm creating something called a whip stitch, which is when it goes around the outside of your fabric like so. Now if your needle does come off, or your thread comes off of your needle, you can always use your threader, the piece of paper, to rethread it. And I'm just going to go ahead and, if you find that it keeps coming off, you can always tie a knot onto here if you'd like. And I'm just going to do it the same way I did the bottom knot, but this time I'm just going to do a single knot this time. So it'll be easy to take my, my needle off of the thread. Alright, I'm going to continue going with my whip stitch. I'm always going to enter into the back side and always going up, and I'm going to pull until I get to the knot, or until it's tight. You want to make sure that your stitches are close together and even, especially if you're going to be having stuffing in here. You don't want any stuffing to fall out, so I'm going to make sure that I'm stitching them nice and close together. Notice I'm going really nice and slow. You don't want to go too fast, otherwise that's when your tangles are going to start to happen. So I'm going to continue until I get around to my corner. Once you get to a corner, just make sure you turn your fabric and then just continue going. Okay, once you get to the part where you're ready to change your string, you'll notice your string's going to be about the length of your hand. That's going to tell you that it's time to switch your strings. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to tie a knot so it doesn't become unraveled. To do that, you're going to take your needle and you're going to stick it in the last stitch that you created. Place it through the stitch, which will create a loop with the string. Then you're going to loop it back around and go into the loop. Pull it tight and you'll create your knot. You're going to want to do this a couple of times so that you have a double knot. Make sure it's nice and strong. So once again, you're going to want to place your needle and put it through the last stitch that you did. It will create a loop. And then you want to go into the back side of your loop. So bring it back around and go through the center of your loop. Pull it nice and tight so that you have your double knot. All right, once you get to the end of your third side, I have one side that I'm remaining open because this is going to be the side where I'm going to put my stuffing. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of stuffing and I'm going to stuff my stuffy here, or my little mini pillow, my lovey, whatever it is that you're creating, and I want to make sure that I'm going to get it all the way in there. You notice I did take my needle or my pin out before I did that, and then I'm actually going to want to re-pin it, so I'm going to kind of close this up, take my pin, I'm going to re-pin this closed to keep that nice and closed while I'm stitching, like so. You can also use your fingers to kind of move the stuffing around a little bit, and make sure that no stuffing should be really close to the edges so I can finish my stitch. Alright, and then you're going to want to finish up this side. So remember, once you get to that corner, you just want to turn it, and then you're going to finish stitching along this side. Alright, we made it. We're all the way back to where we started. I'm just going to make sure that I get this corner nice and closed. And just like if you were changing the string, you're going to want to tie off a knot in order to finish your design. I'm going to do this on the back side because that's the same side as my other knot. Again, I'm going to put my needle through the stitch. It creates a loop, and I'm going to go in through the back of my loop. And it should create a nice knot. And then from there you can trim it. Make sure any scraps go into the garbage and return your needle tool. And you can kind of, don't forget to take off your pins and return those to the center as well. And I can even trim this a little bit shorter. And now you can kind of move your fluff around and I should have a nice comfy pillow. Alright friends, have fun creating!